Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A about my 4th trimester, which if you don't know what that means, it is the, I believe, 12-week period after you have your baby, the healing process in the 4th trimester with your body, bringing the newborn home, the transition with that, specifically for us transitioning to 2 kids, which has been literally the hardest 3 months of our lives. And she's crying already. I just hit record and she's crying. So if you're new here, thank you so much for joining today. If you like my content, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you're always notified when I put out a new video. The thumbs up, guys, we all know it does a lot for my channel, so help me out there. So initially for this video, I wanted to look nice, dress up and do my hair, and I did my makeup and everything and just sort of like portray that I have it all together in the 4th trimester. But then I was like, forget it, because I don't have it all together and who cares, like whatever. And threw my hair up in a ponytail and here we are. So I guess we're just gonna chat like friends today. I'm gonna do the Q&A, run through the questions, and just be completely honest and authentic with how things are going. So let's get started. The first question is, was healing easier from your natural delivery versus the first time around? So the answer is yes. And I think I mentioned in my other video that I did not tear with this delivery. So I don't know if it's maybe because I just could feel more going on down there. I had more control. I knew what was going on, that I didn't end up tearing. I'm not really sure, but I was so happy that I didn't tear. That being said, I think it made the healing process a lot easier. It makes it easier too, just because, you know, when you're trying to clean your region down there and everything, like you don't have any stitches to worry about and all of that. So in that sense, definitely easier. So probably a little bit less painful as well. I feel like the bleeding was shorter and less. Before I knew it, I wasn't putting pads on every day anymore. And I was like, I feel like I was doing this a lot longer with Jace. But you know, it's never easy. I still remember there were a few days where it just like my body just started to ache and hurt so much, and I realized like, oh, I'm actually sore from just like laboring, you know, and all the physical work I was doing that day. And obviously, if you saw my vlog, you saw I was up, I was moving, I was squatting, I was you know, doing so much that it just sort of hit my body a few days later, and I literally woke up feeling like I got hit by a truck or something. So it's never an easy process, postpartum healing, but I do think that the second time around, it was a quicker healing process than the first time. Thinking about trying for a natural birth for baby number 3, would you do it again? That is like a question I'm getting so much. Like, if you have another baby, are you going to do natural or unmedicated? Because at this time I've experienced both, which I love that I've experienced both sides of that. And I feel like because I've done the unmedicated one, that I would have to do it again just because I know that I can. I think if I had a 3rd baby, I would go into it with the exact same mindset that I did this time, where I was educated, I prepared, and mentally was very ready to go into it, trying to do it naturally. And of course, if something happened and I needed to take an epidural, I was fine with that. But I think that and then they did have a second part of this question, did your methods help? And the answer to that is yes. I just posted a video, I'll link it up here. It's like my top 10, I think, ways that I was able to have a natural unmedicated birth. And I think all of those methods or techniques, things that I worked on, was a huge help to me. Have you struggled with PPA or PPD? So if you guys don't know what PPA is, that's postpartum anxiety. I fortunately have not struggled with either of those, I don't think. I mean, I've definitely had my fair share of anxiety here and there, but I don't think it was related to Aria and having a newborn. It was related to a lot of other things that I'll get into. But I would say no, I definitely have like a little bit of baby blues here and there, struggle with hormonal stuff for sure, and irritability. But that's all very different, I think, from postpartum depression. I was a little nervous about it because I did have some depression during my pregnancy in my 1st trimester. I had vlogged about it earlier on in my pregnancy, so I was like praying and hoping I would not be struggling with that after I had the baby. So far so good. Mom of 2 here, are you able to find any time for your own needs? I can barely shower. So I feel you on that. I think that now that Arya's 3 months old, we're more in a groove. She's on a schedule, which allows me to figure out where I can fit in some time for myself. So I do think that scheduling does help. And you guys know I try to be very balanced with scheduling. It just kind of gives you a better idea of what's going on at what time. So then yes, it allows for you to figure out when can you fit in a little bit of time for yourself, which for me has been waking up earlier to fit in a short workout. It's been like 15 to 30 minutes on my mixed fitness bike in the morning. And then after I put both kids down to bed around 7:30, we have a few hours to ourselves at that point as well, which is when I do like a ton of self-care, and I've been getting really into skincare, and I'll take a long bath, and it's been amazing. So that's kind of like how I've been fitting in some stuff. In the earlier weeks when she first came home from the hospital, none of that was happening. Of course not. My main focus was just like keep this baby alive, keep myself sane, keep Jace calm, and don't kill Richie. No, I'm just kidding. That was all very dramatic, but I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that. We'll get into it. Yeah, well, where was I going with this? She's crying again. Check on her. Maybe I'll just bring her out here. Say hi. Okay, this is not part of the plan, but I think she's going through her 4-month sleep regression right now, and she's just not napping very well. You're not. Look how happy she is. So I'm just gonna feed her and try to get through this video. Oh my gosh, her head looks so bald. Okay, so yes, we didn't even have a baby monitor for the first like month and a half of her life. So I didn't feel comfortable leaving her alone in the bassinet. I ended up having her out here a lot with me, like in the playpen or in the lounger. I was constantly trying to keep an eye on her and make sure she's okay. So that being said, there was not a lot of freedom, obviously, or time for me to have to myself. But then we did have Pixie reach out to us and send us their baby monitor. So this portion of the video is sponsored by Pixie. I'm gonna share with you a little bit more about the cool features that they have and how it's really helped me be able to get back on actual schedule, have her sleep in the bassinet, which gave me a little bit more freedom and balance in my life. So according to their research, many new parents feel like they don't have enough personal time and they don't even have time to take a shower. So that's not shocking at all. So their goal is really for new parents to enjoy their precious time with their newborn while also giving them peace of mind to do basic things like eat and sleep and take care of yourself. One of the main things that I always look for in a baby monitor is that you have clear vision both night and day, and Pixie has HD quality. The screen is so clear, you can see the details. I love to zoom all the way in and literally see, like, is she alive? Is she breathing? Is her chest moving up and down? I've been able to start putting her for naps in the bassinet and actually come out here in the kitchen or be in the office and do work. Just take a look at my phone and I can see, you know, exactly how she's doing. It also has a cry decoder, so it can notify you when your baby is crying and decode why they might be crying. What is their need? Are they sleepy, hungry? Even have like soothing music that can play in response to them crying, so it can kind of soothe them back to sleep. Or it has the two-way speaker, so you can talk to your baby and try to soothe them. Something really different with the Pixie is also that it comes with, oh, excuse you. It comes with a stand, and it can come up from a really high angle right over your bassinet, so you can have that nice bird's eye view of the baby. A few other cool features they have that I've never heard of before is like a face detector, so in case maybe a blanket or something has gone over your baby's head, it'll notify you that the face is no longer detected so that you know. Or it has an area movement detector, so if your baby's moving out of a specific area, it will let you know. We have actually also tried this out in Jace's room because I'll get into it more in a bit, but we just recently switched him from a crib to a toddler bed, which means he's escaping the bed. So we wanted to see how this feature works, so we set it up so that anytime he leaves the crib, it tells us, and it has saved us so much stress. I'll go into it more, but that has been an amazing feature. So I'm kind of playing around to see whose room I want it to be in, hers or his. Good for babies, good for toddlers, super cool. If you guys are interested in any of these features and you're in the market for a baby monitor, make sure to check out their information below in my description. Okay, so this is the perfect next question since I was just talking about this. How did Jace do with the transition? And I'm probably gonna talk about this for a while because this has been one of the hardest parts of this entire thing. And if you saw our 24 hours with the newborn video, which I just posted, and I'll link it up here if you haven't, you'll see that Arya is doing pretty good. Overall, she generally naps pretty well. She sleeps really well through the night. She's breastfeeding, so she wakes up every day with a smile on her face. Like literally God just took an angel baby and handed it to us. And Lord, I could not be more grateful. Thank you so much. Please help her continue to be this way forever and ever. But that being said, the most challenging part of all of this has really been Jace. And I don't want to say that in a way that's like putting down Jace. He's just in a difficult time of life. Like he's 2 years old. He can't fully communicate in the way he wants to. You know, he's starting to talk more and more, and it's awesome and I love it. You know, the terrible twos come with a lot of tantrums and behavioral stuff and, you know, learning to regulate emotions and just the overall transition of her coming into his life. Like there's just so much happening all at once. And I think that another huge factor involved in all of this was the transition to the toddler bed, which we did not want to do at all during this time period. We were like, nope, we're going to put it off as long as possible. But guys, it got to a point where he was like crawling out of his crib. It was getting dangerous. We had no choice but to take off the side of the crib and transition him. I have a whole highlight about it on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out, because I actually walk you through our entire process of like everything that happened. So it was a lot. Very, very difficult week of our lives. Just nuts how little changes in a kiddo's life reflect so much in their behaviors. So basically it just got to a point where Jace was like miserable almost every single day. Like every day was difficult to even wake up and start the day because Jace was just grumpy. Like the second he woke up, barely saw a smile on the kid's face for months. And it was so hard. I was like, who is this kid? Like, this is not the Jace that we know. Like his mood affected all of our moods. And, you know, I was trying really hard to be optimistic and be patient with him. It was just difficult because like nobody wants to be around a miserable person, you know, but he's my baby, like he's my toddler, so I have to be around him. You know, some of this is really hard to talk about and hard to like admit. Obviously, you guys know I love my son, but there were days where it was like, I just did not want to be around my son. Like, I'm sure that's relatable to a lot of parents out there because, yeah, it was just really hard. It was like a streak of just weeks and weeks and weeks that were such high stress, such high anxiety. I don't know, like when your kid is super young, like Arya, like I don't need to worry about disciplining her, you know, she's a baby. But like when your kid turns 2, 3, 4 and you're really starting to get into like, how am I going to teach this kid to behave? There's just a lot more to think about and things that we haven't had to discuss before that we now needed to discuss, which we weren't fully aligned on things. And, you know, I was starting to learn more about like gentle parenting and big little feelings, following them on Instagram and all of that. And so I had to go to him and like address a lot of these things and be like, hey, maybe we should try this and kind of teach him what I was learning. And, you know, then you think about like, well, how was I raised? How did I learn these things? How was I disciplined? What do we want to take from that? What do we want to leave behind and not take on to our own kids? So that caused a lot of stress even between us. So that's why I say like, it genuinely has been, I think, the hardest 3 months of both of our lives since we've gotten married. And in that, it also has just been so much learning and so much change and growth, which is essential and really, really good. So a lot of good came out of it, obviously, and we're still kind of trying to figure some things out. Jace is doing so much better. Like just about a week or 2 ago, he started to be happy again. He is communicating and talking so much more. He's understanding consequences and discipline and what we're teaching him. He's listening better. So yeah, we were just really all going through it. That's just kind of how it is with kids, like it's always like this all the time. Even her, right? She just got all her naps down and now, oh, she's in a regression. We don't know what's going on again. Like it's just constant. That's just parenthood. That was a very long-winded answer. Okay, have you been getting any sleep at night? So yes, I am now, which is awesome. In the very beginning, no, there was not a lot of sleep. She was up, you know, every 2 to 3 hours feeding like through the night. I started to do a dream feed, I think when she was around 2 months, and that helped a lot to give me a longer stretch at night. And then I started to just move that dream feed time earlier and earlier. And now she's at the point where she's sleeping from around 6:30 p.m. to 6 in the morning. So we're almost at like a 12-hour stretch, which is like such a blessing. I'm so grateful. She has just taken to sleep really well, like a lot quicker and faster than Jace did. How do you feel about your body now? Are you embracing the changes? So, you know, I did a video that was like shopping for my postpartum body, and in that video I was kind of being super upbeat and saying like, you know, all is well, it's just your body changes and it is what it is. But I do think that it's been a little bit harder for me lately because I'm having trouble like honestly finding clothes that I like, that feels good on me, because especially my midsection has just like changed so much in the whole pooch thing. It's like really hard to look good and feel good in certain clothes. I am starting to work out in the mornings. I'm not doing anything super aggressive or crazy. Like I said, I'm just usually jumping on the bike for like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. I'm not like super depressed about it or anything. Like I still feel pretty confident and secure in myself, but is it hard to dress myself? Yes. So that affects me because I want to look good and I want to feel good in my clothes. But sometimes we just wear sweats like this all day, and that's okay because it's super comfy. Yeah. Maybe I'll put you down for a little bit. Can I put you down or are you gonna cry? Oh, you don't like to stay down. You like to stay up and see what's going on all the time. There you go. Look, it's Minnie Mouse. Okay, first time doing the deed. Currently 3 weeks postpartum and I'm scared. Wait, what? Why are you doing the deed 3 weeks postpartum? As far as I know, you should typically wait until your 6-week postpartum appointment to get cleared by your doctor first and get checked to see if everything's nice and healed down there before you do the deed. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a question or you just letting me know what's going on, but it sounds like you're scared. I suppose that my advice for that would be definitely wait till your 6-week appointment. And after that, try to not be scared because the more scared you are, the more tense you're going to be and the more painful it's going to be. So it's really all mental and it's a mindset and saying, you know what, it's okay, we're gonna be good, everything still works down there, it functions, and you know, lube never hurts. I feel strange saying that around sweet innocent Aria. How do you maintain milk supply? I had a difficult time with my milk supply around the 4 to 5 week mark, and I felt like I wasn't producing enough milk. She was not like latching. She was getting super agitated and couldn't latch, and it was so stressful. When that happens, I start to pump, like just with a hand pump, after each session. Or I just suction on the haka at each feeding. I did that in the very beginning too. I would use the haka at every single breastfeeding time with her because it was basically pulling out additional milk. So that was telling my body like she is taking in all this milk, even though she wasn't. She was taking in most of it and then an additional few ounces from the haka, but then my body was always producing just a little bit more. So I found that to be really helpful. I am not a huge fan of the electric pump, but I do know that like adding in an electric pump session at nighttime, you know, after your kid goes to sleep, people usually say that that's super helpful with producing. At this point, I've gathered a pretty good stash in the freezer from just using my haka consistently like the first 3 months. I also need to make sure I'm drinking enough water. That is huge. Get yourself a huge water bottle and just drink it all throughout the day. Did you just puke all over yourself? Oh my gosh, this always happens. Like I don't even see, and she's just, we had her baby dedication on Sunday and she was just like on stage at church, like just spitting up and puking all over herself. I had to keep wiping her in front of everybody. All right, last question we'll do here is, how is Aria the same as Jace and how is she different? Let's start with similarities. So I think that they both were very strong. They had, we did a lot of tummy time with Jace and a lot with her, which really helped build their neck strength pretty early on. They were both very attentive and awake, and they both had the wide eyes and were looking around and curious. Like Aria's like that, Jace was like that. However, Jace is a little more serious and Aria is a lot more smiley, a lot more reactive and laughing. And for him, it was like I had to work so hard to get like a little smile or a laugh out of him. But for her, she just like wakes up smiling and happy. So they're very different in that way. She likes baths. He did not like baths. What else? She seems to be a lot more flexible. I mentioned that she's been like overall easier with, you know, putting her down for naps and nighttime sleep. Like she doesn't necessarily need all the tricks, all of the hacks, you know. Like Jace, it was very, we have to make sure the blackout curtains are pitch black in the room, like the sound machine, like we just did everything to get him to have a good nap. And then, you know, with her, it's like, well, sometimes the sound machine's on, sometimes it's not. You know, the blackout curtains in our room are not actually blackout, so there's still some light coming through, but she's cool with that. Like she's just a lot more flexible in that way. Oh, you know what else is different? Their poops. Their poops are so different. Jace almost never had a blowout. Like probably there would be like, I could count on one hand how many blowouts he had that actually came out in like stained clothes, because his poops were more solid. Sorry to talk about the poops, but his were more like a chunk of poop and you just clean the chunk. Hers, oh my gosh, I've cleaned so many clothes, so many blowouts. Hers at first was just like straight watery poops, and it would just keep coming out the back. Honestly, I just didn't expect that from her. I thought she's gonna be a nice little girl and she's gonna poop glitter. Yeah, I remember being up late at night rocking Jace, like having to just rock him for such a long time to get him to fall back asleep. His pacifier, anytime it would come out of his mouth, he would just start crying. I had to constantly keep going back, put the pacifier in. He didn't hold in the pacifier very well. That's super different. She holds in the pacifier very well. And if it falls out, she doesn't cry every single time. She's kind of just like, whatever, and will fall back asleep. And then I don't have to like rock her at night. Like I was never really up late at night rocking her. You know how some babies, like I can rock her sitting down like this and she's fine, but some of them, like you must stand up to rock them. Otherwise they will just keep crying. Like I don't know what it is about the difference between standing and sitting. It's all rocking. I don't get it. I don't even know how they know. Like how can they know that you're sitting or standing? Yeah, Jace was a stand and rock me baby, whereas I can sit and rock her and she's cool with it. But I love them the same. I love you both so, so, so much. And those are all my questions for now, you guys. I hope that this video was fun, enjoyable, helpful, and I appreciate all of your love and support as usual. Bye-bye. Love you guys. See you later. See you later.